Welcome to the city, and in the city we are going to go and explore the library. Yoonghee, why do people go to the library?
Because library is the best place to find good knowledge. It's like a treasure island.
That sounds wonderful. When you go to the library, what are some things you should or shouldn't do?
You probably have to be quiet.
Okay, so yes, quiet is an important part of the library. And what else?
And you should not eat food or drink inside the study area of library.
Very good, Yoonghee. So today with my TA Yoonghee, myself, Professor Neil, hello, my TA Yoonghee.
Hello, this is TA Yoonghee. Ooh, it's beautiful spiral bookcases.
Yes, we will be talking about what you should and shouldn't do in a place where they keep books, which is the library.
Ooh, library. Professor Neil, I'm excited. I love library.
Okay, so in the starter, we're going to go into the library. And the library has rules. Rules are things you should or shouldn't do. And here they have written some of the rules above the picture. And below the picture, you should say if you should or shouldn't do it when in the library.
So this time we get to learn about library rules by saying what you should do or what you shouldn't do.
Yes. So here are the rules. And up the top we got should and shouldn't. And before we fill in the gaps, we're just going to link it into the grammar that is indicated in this unit relating to modals.
Oh, lots of pink modal box.
Lots of pink modals. So the modals, and these in the last unit they related to probability and chance of something happening.
I remember we used the modal will and also used the degree of probability by adding adverbs such as definitely or probably, etc.
Yeah, you can do that with these modals too, and they will change the degree of obligation. But in these ones, we're just looking at more modals. So we have must, have to, need to, had, better, ought to, should. Let's look at these ones in a bit more detail. These ones that are called the affirmative obligation.
Affirmative obligation, that means positive action.
Yes, so let's look at the sentence structure here. You have a noun phrase at the beginning.
As a subject.
As a subject. A noun phrase at the end.
As an object, such as us.
Yes.
A form and... where is it?
Wait.
The truth, a tie.
Okay.
Your father.
Okay. And then we have the modals and the verb, right, which make up what is known as the verb phrase. So in the sentence structure, we have, as Yoonghee said, the subject and object at either end. And then you have, which are noun phrases. And then in the middle, we have the modal plus the main verb, which combine to make the verb phrase. So you have subject, what is called the predicate, object.
So predicates are verb phrases.
Verb phrases.
That consist of modal plus main verb.
Yeah, so let's look at them with our example sentences of affirmative obligation. Let's go with the first one. So subject, you must visit us. So the degree of obligation here with must
is very high.
Is very high. So we're looking at the degree of obligation. So how much obligation? How much must you visit us? How much must you visit us?
How strong that obligation is.
So it's the highest obligation. So meaning there's no choice. You must visit us. You must visit us. It's a very strong obligation. Who us is, we don't know, Could be your professors, could be your teachers, could be your parents, could be your friends. But the point is here, by saying must, you've given it a strong obligation for doing it. So let's just look at a degree of obligation, which is the lowest obligation. So in this list of modals, Yonghee, which is the modal that suggests the lowest degree of obligation?
I would guess the one on the bottom, should.
Yes. So you could say you visit us. This is a perfectly good sentence, but you change the meaning of the sentence to obligation by putting in the modal. So you've got you should visit us.
That means it's totally up to you.
Well, this is where it gets complicated, because if someone says you should visit us, it is still obligation. So it's not, there is less choice than must, but there is still obligation. You're still expected to visit us.
Yeah, it's a kind of invitation to come and see us. However, but even though you're not coming, it's not like we're gonna, punish you.
I think that is a good word for it. It's more of an invitation, which you can say no to, whereas must, you cannot say no. So if someone says to you, you must visit, you have to say yes. But if someone says you should visit us, you can say no. There is an option, a choice. So as they go down in obligation, there's less chance to say no, which would be a bit unfair. So with negative obligation, it's the opposite. So before we got the affirmative obligation. So we have the affirmative obligation, that is confirming something, saying that it will happen. Whereas the negative obligation is saying something will not happen or should not happen, does not happen.
You're not allowed to do it.
But it follows the same sentence structure. The only difference is here we're including not,
which is negation adverb attached to the modals must, had better, ought not, should not.
Yes, but it follows the same pattern of subject, right? Modal, main verb, object plus not for the negative obligation. So it's modal plus not plus main verb makes the verb phrase. And so for example, we'll take the top one there. The subject is you must arrive late. It changes it, you must not arrive late. So that is like a warning, a very strong warning that you must not do it. You must not arrive late.
We can also say shortly, you mustn't arrive
We
late.
will come to the mustn'ts and the shouldn'ts, the contraction soon. Yes, you can contract it to say you mustn't arrive late. But if you want to make it stronger in your order, you must say you must not arrive late.
Not.
Good emphasis. Yonghee says not. Very well. Okay, so that is the highest obligation, and it's a warning. It's not an invitation. It's not an invitation, it is a command. It is a command. So you could use should instead, and that will lower the degree of obligation, and the sentence pattern will follow the same. Subject you, tell a lie, or you should not tell a lie. But as Yonghee said, must not can become mustn't. So should not can become
shouldn't. Professor Neil, you shouldn't tell a lie to me.
Yes, there we go. Shouldn't. You see, you shouldn't tell a lie. Yes, sorry. Thank you, Yonghee. I wasn't really listening there.
Because you promised to give me lots of fish when I get the question correct. So where are my fish?
I should have given you the fish, but I didn't. Not yet. They're coming.
So I have to change it. You must give me lots of fish.
Yes. But you see, people can say things, but that doesn't mean people are going to obey. So let's go back to the starter. We've covered where you've got different affirmative obligation. One last one is when someone has no obligation, means You just says you don't have to do something. You don't need to do something. Notice here it has the do, have to. It's quite a long modal.
So no obligation here is more like optional.
Well, yes, it's optional, but also to point out, if someone says you do have to do something, that is strong affirmative
But
obligation.
if you say you don't have to do homework, that means you don't have to do it.
Yeah, but if a professor says it, it means you do have to do it.
Yeah, that's why it's not saying no obligation. It's just giving you option.
It's being
Option.
So, good point. If a professor says to you, you don't have to do the homework, then you can hear flying over the sky the word but. But. You should.
So here we have to be careful. No obligation doesn't mean you not doing it. No obligation means interpreted as optional, but it's better doing it.
Yeah, because here, like they say, you don't have to make a reservation, but as Yongi said, it's better if you do make a reservation. So be clear, modals, degrees of obligation, vary depending on the context, the situation, and the desired goal of the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the starter.
Ooh, confusing.
A little confusing, but hopefully we've helped make it a bit clearer.
As we always say, practice makes it perfect.
Yes. So here, we've put all the answers have appeared. So at the top we have our question: what should or shouldn't you do in the library? So, Yongi, first one: what should or shouldn't you do in the library?
You shouldn't eat snacks like crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yes, that means don't eat snacks.
It's noisy.
And the second one?
You shouldn't talk on your phone because it makes loud sound again.
Yes. And then?
After reading, you should return magazines to the shelf, its original place.
Here are the shelves. Here are the book shelves. After reading at the table, you should return them to the shelf.
And you should bring only non-spill drinks.
Yeah, so here she has a bottle with a top. So if it falls over, it does not spill.
Oh, that is called non-spill drinks.
Yes, not spill drinks, non-spill drinks. Then we have...
You should be quiet.
Yes, in the library you should be quiet. And she's saying, shh, shh, shh.
Quiet. And after finishing reading the book, you should return any materials on time.
Yes. If you don't, what will happen?
We have book drop places to return the book. If I don't return the book on time, I get fined.
You have to pay a fine, yes.
Or I get punishment if I'm not allowed to
rent
out the books for a certain period of time.
Yes. If you do not return books or material on time, you will pay a fine or you will serve a punishment. So next one.
You shouldn't put your feet on the table. I really hate those kind of people.
Yes,
especially with their slippers and shoes on top of table.
Those people with their naked feet.
Ugh.
Oh yes, naked feet people are the worst.
Those are the table people have their drinks or stuff like that.
I think people who put their naked feet on the table should be stoned. Severe, very severe. Okay, last one.
You shouldn't write in the books that is not your own.
Yeah, exactly. So don't write it in books that belong to the library. Do not belong to you. Good, thank you, Yonghi. I think we went through should and shouldn't in great detail there. So be careful to make sure you say the right should and shouldn't in your sentences. Otherwise, you will cause confusion. And also, remember to follow the library rules, or you will get in trouble.
Trouble, trouble, trouble.
Thank
So-
you, Young-hee.
So if we follow the library rules, then no problem.
Should be okay. Good. Well, there you go. As we say, you've got your subject, your modal, your main verb, and your objects, and in some cases, your prepositions of place. Okay, so with
Moving on.
that, yes, we've got the moving on. Oh,
Oops. Something's falling. The sky is falling.
there it goes. All right, so there you go. You can see them. And if you've got your book like this, you should write the sentences. For now, yes, as Young-hee was saying, we are moving on.
Moving on. Ooh, beautiful library. I love that lantern. What is it called?
A lamp or lantern, yes. So this is a beautiful old library. And it has a lot of books, old books on the shelf.
A lot of English books only.
Well, it's an English library. Good observation, good observation.
Ooh, dizzy, wavy.
And it's preparing us. Now that we've left the library, we are now moving on to the dialogue 2-9 or 2-9.
Dialogue 2-9. Onen.
But in the meantime, I'm going to play a game if that's okay, Young-hee. Oh, let me turn it on.
Ooh.
Here is my game console. And I'm going to level up. Here I go. Alright, taking off. Woof, woof. Alright, on an adventure in my game. There we go. What?
Oh, Professor Neil,
Game
you are
over.
terrible. You are terrible again.
That didn't last long. Well, I guess I will have to play the game again later, after class.
We have to load them again.
I do love a game console. So here it says the game console arrived today. We set it up and I played the game.
The game console is like a joystick?
They have game controllers.
Mm.
They do use joysticks too. So Youngie, can you name a famous game console?
Xbox.
Xbox or
And the Nintendo Wii.
Nintendo Wii?
And I don't know, arcade game?
In the past, arcade games, PlayStation, Sega, and going further back, Atari. Ooh, one of the first.
I don't know those things.
Wow, okay. Back in the day. Okay, so here we have our two people, Mike and Kate. So as usual, Youngie, I have a male character finally. I'm going to read Mike, and if you read Kate.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okie dokie.
The game console arrived today. Let's set it up.
Sure. How do we start?
First, you need to plug it in and connect it to the TV.
What about this extra cable? Where should it go?
That's for the internet. You should connect it to the wall.
Do we have to attach the controllers?
No, they're wireless. If you push the top button, the console will find them.
Cool. What games do we have?
We have 3 games, but we have to load them.
Interesting. So it's like a Bluetooth.
Yes. So we mentioned, obviously we've gone over the grammar in this one, which is using the modals. And so here they use some modals to describe what they should do about the console and how to set it up. Alright, so here we have like should and have to plus the verb, and we're highlighting them in the boxes, the modals in pink and the main verbs in red. And then you should also do the same in the dialogue. So do the dialogue, highlight any modals you see, and the main verbs that follow them in the sentence. So Younghee, what's the first one you see?
Should.
Okay. Yes, so we've got a lot of should go, should connect, have to attach, have to load. And in each case there's a subject. So where should it go? The subject is it. You should connect it to the wall. The subject is you. Do we have to attach the controllers? Younghee, the subject is
We.
But we have to load them. The subject is
We.
So alright, so just to go through, any other modals there? Would you include need to?
Oh yeah. Need to should be the modal too.
Yes, because that was in the example. And let's just go through, because here we've got a few pronouns. So here it says, the game console arrived today, let's set it up. Youngie, what is it, the first it?
It refers to the game console.
Sure, how do we start? We is
Mike and Kate.
First you
Is Kate.
Well, yeah, or the people with
Or general people.
general people. Yeah, the people who bought the console need to plug it
The console.
in and connect it
Console.
the console. What about this extra cable? Where should it go?
That is this extra cable.
It is this extra cable. That's for the internet. You, again, general people, should connect it.
This extra cable.
This. Do we? Who is we?
Kate and Mike.
Kate and Mike. Yeah, have to attach the controllers. No, the controllers.
They here are the controllers.
Yes, they. Very good, Yomi. Our controllers. If we,
Kate and Mike.
Kate and Mike, push the top button, the console will find them. What is them?
Them is the controllers.
The controllers again. So here, the controllers are wireless. If we push the top button, the console will find the controllers. Cool. What games do we,
Mike and Kate.
have? Mike
and Kate.
have 3 games, but we have to load.
Mike and Kate.
Yes, have to load them.
Them are 3 games.
The 3 games. Very good. So we've gone through those in quite a bit of detail. You've seen the use of should, which gives instructions, because if you don't plug it in, if you don't connect it...
Start with the need to. Need to plug in and should connect it and have to attach and the load have
Yes,
to load.
it won't work. So let's test your knowledge on that with our questions.
Questions!
Young.
Fish.
All right, Yongi, ready?
Fish.
What did Mike get today?
Professor.
Yeah, all right, fish for each question. 1 fish per question, right?
Okay, you should give me fish.
Okay.
Every time I answer to the question.
When we get Unit 12, I will shower you with fish.
Ooh!
Meaning,
But I want to eat.
yeah, I'll drop the fish on you and you can eat them.
Ah, lovely. Wonderful.
Okay,
amazing.
Let's do the questions. Questions. What did Mike get today?
Mike got the game console today.
Okay, very good. What will they set up?
They will set up the game console.
Very good. Notice the use of will there.
Probability. High probability.
Yes. Where do they need to plug the console into?
They need to plug it in and connect it to the TV.
Yes. Notice how we can combine into as one word as well. But here it's separated. What will they need to connect the console to? Oh, you already said that. Yes, they need to plug it into the TV. They need to connect it to the TV.
I should, I suppose,
No.
said in the 2 separate sentences.
But the difference here is, what will they need to plug the console into? They will need to plug it into the socket. Into the socket in the wall. They will need to connect the console to the TV. So they need to plug it in to the socket in the wall for the power, and they need to connect it to the TV. So in a way, they're talking about 2 different cables. What is the extra cable for?
It is for internet.
Yes, it is for connecting the console to the internet. Very good. Where do they need to plug the extra cable into?
They need to plug it to the wall.
Yes, they need to plug it into the wall, into the internet socket. So they need to plug the console into the power socket, and they need to plug the extra cable for the internet into the internet socket. I've been quite technical here. You should go and check out Tech English. Why do they not have to plug in the controllers?
Because the controllers are wireless.
Wireless. So before moving on, I'm going to ask one extra question. Let's see. Come up, extra question. There it is. Younghee, what do they have to load?
They have to load 3 games.
Yes, and I think I'm going to move on and go back and play my dragon game.
Ooh. Can I try
No,
as well?
my game.
I was
my
during the break. Can I try only once?
You're a cat. You just eat. You just you play with I don't know what cats play with.
I play with mice.
Oh. All right. So as we say, we are moving on.
Moving on. Oh, it's break time, isn't it, Professor Neil?
It's looking that way. Let's see.
Ooh.
Yes.
Finally.
So that was English 2, Unit 1, Part 1. And thank you for joining us. And this is the end of Part 1. So bye from me and bye from Younghee.
See you. Bye.